Hello and welcome to the Unfazed Review Podcast. I'm Ben Steerick,
I'm Emmett.
and this is Larry Bartels. He is a friend of Unfazed, and we're very happy to have him on the program. Be Yourself Adventures is his YouTube channel. Larry, kick it off. Tell us a little bit about your background and how you actually, got connected with Unfazed, and yeah, give us your Batman origin story.
My Batman. Wow, tried that for a tongue twister. Jeez. Um, I don't know. Let's see, where should I begin? Should I begin when I was just a baby born out? No.
I mean, wherever you
Um,
want, wherever you want.
just stop being a sit-down comedian. Well, basically for me, I went to the whole high school, all that fun jazz and everything else. Gonna go to college, go with the business career, all the boring stuff. And my friend was working on a movie called Murphy's Romance. And believe it or not, I had another friend at the same time working on just one of the guys.
Oh, very cool.
So I went out to both sets and I saw what's going on. I thought, well, this is kind of fun. And when I got done with high school, my friend's like, well, you should do acting, modeling. I said, no, 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 not for me. He said, try it. So I went into acting school. I went to this place called Bobby Ball School for Acting.
Okay, was that local? Was that here?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was local, and got my graduation certificate for acting and everything. And I got my first call for a movie,
Nice.
and it was the movie I told you about called Near Dark.
So good, by the way. Now I got an embarrassing confession. I had actually never seen Near Dark, and I was talking to Sean Clark a while back, who we are also or who you're also acquainted with,
Right.
and he was like, "Oh, dude," he's like, "You got to watch it. It's great." And talking to you, you're like, "Yeah, you have to watch it." And I thought, well, it'd be very rude of me to interview you and not have seen Near Dark. So I did. Last week I watched Near Dark, and it was fantastic. It's weird that it flew under my radar. It's weird that I never saw it. Great, great movie. I highly recommend it. If you like horror, if you like 80s, if you like vampires, like it is such a cool, unique movie, and I really thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah, the thing about it is the first day I got the phone call, I was at Bobby Ball, and they said, okay, they want you to come down as a stand-in or something like that.
Mhm.
I said, all right. Then they called me back and said, I'm sorry, we don't need you as a stand-in. I said, all right, this is working out really well already.
Classic, yeah.
Next day, I come back and I get a phone call again, same company, but this time it was from Eric Red. He was one of the main people on Near Dark. Him and Catherine Bigelow
Yep.
put together Near Dark. Says we need a double for a certain actor, and that ended up being Bill Paxton.
That is so cool.
So,
That is
I
so
mean,
cool.
I didn't know who he was back then.
Yeah. Well, he
I
was, I
mean,
mean, still kind of getting his start. He'd done like, his cameo in Terminator, and then he had um
Weird Science.
Weird Science. Yeah, he was like the older brother jerk in Weird Science, right? But he was
Yeah,
still definitely getting his footing. He wasn't like Twister Bill Paxton yet at that point,
no, no,
But
no. And I thought, okay, well, this is kind of cool.
yeah, it's very cool.
So I go down there. I first day on set. Then, well, we had to go to an hotel right there near Casa Grande Freeway, near Eloy or something like that.
Yeah.
So we joined everybody there. They had the vans there. Didn't know anybody. Real nervous. It's like, okay, it's 4:30 in the morning. So we get there, go down to set. Nothing's going on for several hours. And that's where I got stuck drinking coffee for the first time.
Oh wow, first experience. Okay,
Yeah, first experience. Yeah.
that's
I
cool.
didn't drink any coffee before, and I was what, 21 years old?
Oh wow. Did you become a convert and you were like, I'm having this all the time now?
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much. Pretty much. I mean, it was but it was a lot of fun. I mean, I got to meet Jenny Wright, Lance Henriksen,
That's awesome.
just hanging out with these guys for a couple months.
So if you're doubling for what you're doing stand-in work for Bill Paxton, correct?
Actually, it's double,
Oh, you're actually so the double. Okay.
double,
Did
whole
you
outfit, everything.
Oh wow, that's awesome. So what was it like working with him? And did you do any stunts as well on that project?
I did one little stunt. See, I don't know if you really call it a stunt, but remember with the station wagon
Yep.
when it caught on fire?
Yep.
We were the ones in the station wagon.
Oh wow.
Yeah, when they did the exterior shots. Yeah,
That's
we were in
crazy.
it.
That's awesome. Was
Yeah,
it terrifying?
it was a little nervous. Yeah,
Yeah,
because
I
they
would have
said
been too. Yeah.
it's gonna catch on fire and we got to get out of it quick. And
That's crazy. So how
so
was it working with Bill Paxton? Did you have a chance to really spend a lot of time
yeah,
together?
yeah, I did.
Yeah. What were
He's,
some nice memories you have about Bill Paxton?
I remember sitting by the honey wagon.
Uh-huh.
He's just standing there and we just started chatting with each other. He was very laid back, just likes talking about everything. He didn't really talk about films or anything. He
Interesting.
just talked about himself.
Huh. But friendly
So,
though, pretty cool dude.
oh, very friendly,
Nice.
very friendly. I mean, the whole cast and crew, except, I mean, I don't like saying this bad about people because, they just have their own ways, what have you.
Sure.
But the kid that played Homer,
Mm-hmm.
Joshua Miller, of
Yeah.
course, his dad was in The Exorcist.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah, his dad was the one of the priests in The
Huh.
Exorcist.
It's like fun.
Yeah,
Okay.
so there's a little tidbit for you.
That is a fun fact. Yeah.
Yeah, so but he was kind of like all over himself type thing, even though he was a
Really?
kid.
Huh.
Yeah,
Maybe
he
it
was.
was it was getting to his head a little bit.
I think it was.
I
I
think
think it
also it's
was.
because he was a 75-year-old man in a child's body, right?
Right,
That's what that
right.
was.
So I mean, he may have been just putting on his thing or his, acting a bit, but I don't know. He was just kind of like I'm the
Interesting.
best type thing.
Makes you wonder. Yeah, I feel like it could be either way. It could have been true ego, or it could have been, like his attempt at method acting at that point and it just came across wrong, or who knows? I don't know. Maybe he's
I
just a
had
little punk.
something. Yeah, I mean, it was crazy. It was totally crazy, but I did have something really cool happen on that set. Jenny Wright, that played May,
Yep.
was looking at two different guys. I mean, she was single. She didn't have anybody.
Hmm.
She was looking at Adrian Pastar and myself.
Nice.
So I was like, she asked us both out.
Wow. Did you go out
So
with her?
no, but I wish I would have.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
wish I would have, but
Wow. But sometimes, that's how you learn. You live and learn. It's like you're like, oh shit, that's the one that got away, or that was the missed
right.
opportunity. And you're like, damn. And then you think about that, 10, 20, 30, however long years later, and you're like, shit. And then you kick yourself. But I think it's kind of good though, because if you don't have that experience, then you never change. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but from her perspective, you're the guy who didn't go for it, and now she probably thinks you're cool, you know? She's like,
Exactly.
oh
Right.
man,
Well, yeah. Yeah,
that's
that's
pretty
true.
badass.
Think about it, but yeah, I said, Adrian, go for it.
That's super
So
cool.
pretty
Did he?
much.
Did he go
Yeah,
for
he
it?
did. He did for a little
Wow.
bit.
And now they're
So
married. No, I'm kidding.
yeah, right. All
So
right.
how did that go from, I still want to hear more about Near Dark, but how did that transition and eventually working on Bill and Ted? Because those were fairly close to each other, correct?
Yeah, they were very close. Um, let's see, I'm trying to remember going back. Here I am trying to go back in time.
Because the few sets that I've worked on just a lot of independent stuff. Nothing as badass as the stuff you've worked on, but the stuff I've worked on, there's always a vibe when you're on set where when
Right.
it gets close to wrapping at the end, where people are like, okay, what's the next thing? And everyone's kind of like networking and talking to each other. And if you're on the crew, it's kind of like, oh, what's next? Oh, I heard, this is going to be filming in a month, or this is happening, or there's, little rumblings about stuff to hop on. Was it kind of like that with Near
It
Dark, where
was
it's like it
it
kind of
was
it kind of connected?
kind of. I mean, there was people I knew that I got really friends with, per se,
Hmm.
on the crew.
Yeah.
So I got to know them pretty well and what have you.
Mhm.
And one guy told me that there's another production coming into town,
Cool.
and it was Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. He
Was
says,
that the was that the working title for that? Like when they were
yeah,
filming, or that was the
yeah,
title originally?
that
That's
was the
cool.
title. Oh yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah. I mean, the guys were great. Everybody was great. Ed Sullivan, um, um, Chris Matheson was great. Hung out with Keanu and Alex, and
It's amazing.
it was so much fun. But yeah, just getting back on that is you make connections. I never knew anything about networking
Yeah.
back in the day. I mean, I thought, okay, well, I'll get this guy's card, I'll get their phone number, so on and so on. I just learned myself.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nothing you learned in quote unquote acting school
Hmm.
and things like that. But yeah, I just found out Bill and Ted's was coming into town through the grapevine.
That's awesome.
So I ended up working in production in front of the camera, behind the camera, and did the prom scene, which they cut it.
Oh, that's right. Didn't they do something in Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey with the prom scene, or am I hallucinating? I don't think
Um, I don't think so. I don't
they
think they
did.
did.
No, I guess not. 'Cause, yeah, in the first one, they're like, "Will you go to prom with us to the
Right,
princess?" Right? Yeah,
right.
okay. Maybe I saw like a deleted scene or something. I don't know.
They had the
But
prom scene, but I was dancing with one of the girls, one of the princesses,
oh, that's
and
awesome.
then Keanu came in and said, "Dude, you're dancing with my babe," or something like that.
That's awesome.
I said, all right," and I went back and set up my table.
So you did multiple jobs on Bill and Ted. You
Oh
did
yeah.
behind the camera and in front of the camera. So what like specifically did you do, and what were like some iconic scenes that you worked on?
Oh my gosh, a lot.
Yeah.
Of course, the classroom scene.
Okay.
As you see, you remember the beginning of the
Of
movie
course. Yeah. That's when
with
I know backwards and forwards. I've seen Billy
right?
like
Okay,
100 times. Yeah.
Bernie Casey. Ted, I'm waiting.
Yeah.
She's dead. Well, I'm sitting right next to Alice and Keanu because they
Ooh,
said you look so young. We're going to put you in as one of the classroom people.
nice.
So I got to do that and walk out with them. It was in that. It was an auditorium scene.
And what
That
high school was that filmed at?
it was Coronado High School and East High School.
Very cool.
Nice.
So it was
So
not in
both of them.
San Dimas. It was actually out
All
here,
right.
huh?
I'm really
Correct.
close to Coronado. That's cool.
That is cool.
Yeah, they did. I think just one of the guys was filmed at Coronado High School.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Who was
You know
Joan of
the
Arc? Noah's wife?
yeah, that was funny.
So good.
But it was a long, I mean, we filmed what again, like a couple months, but it was, we did Metro Center.
Oh yeah.
That was a blast.
We are big on Metro Center. I'm sure you've seen
Yeah,
some of our Metro Center content, but
I did.
talk about Metro just for a second, like what it was like in its heyday and what it was like filming there. Like how was it filming there back in, was that 88 when it was filmed? And then it was released in 89?
87,
Oh, 87.
87.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, it was right after Near Dark was pretty much over with.
Wow.
So I just went from Near Dark and then it got the contact and went right into Bill and Ted's.
Wow. So how was that? How was the like the Metro? Because I mean that must have been crazy to film. I mean you had, So
Oh,
Creates
it's
Dude and Billy the
chaotic.
Kid on the ice skating rink, and like what
Yeah,
was, I mean, tell me all about it.
it was chaotic because for me, I knew the rink very well because I started playing ice hockey when I was young, when I was
Oh, cool,
little.
cool.
So I was very familiar with the whole hockey thing and everything else.
Nice.
But it was hard to try to keep everybody from watching.
Yeah, I bet.
You had people looking up above trying to watch and everything else because it was what, two levels.
Hmm.
You had the ice rink down below and then the stores and everything and the food court above.
Yep.
So, and then you had the music store, then you had the sporting store, and then you had the one with Abraham Lincoln.
Yep.
I don't know if you remember that. If you go down Metro Center inside the mall, there was like a candy store, a leather store, and all these neat little cool shops in this alley.
Yeah, I just remember bits and pieces of it. I feel like when I started going to Metro, a lot of the cool stuff had gone. I mean, there was still, some great stores, but it wasn't as badass as it was in the 80s. There wasn't as many of those
Yeah.
spots. It's like my memories of Metro are more so like 99, 2000, 2001, 2002, like around there, so a lot of that cool
Yeah,
stuff had been, taken out or changed.
yeah. Mine was like when Metro was in its heyday.
That's awesome. I'm jealous. You got to see the best era of Metro.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. But I mean, they had the food court scene. That was crazy,
Yeah.
because, you had the security, you got everybody trying to keep everybody wanting to get over by all the talent and things like that.
Oh yeah.
But it's like any big production.
That's awesome.
And
I love Kangaskhan going crazy in the sporting goods store.
Oh, Al Leong? Yeah.
Yeah.
Al and I are still friends to this day.
Really?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he was also in Die Hard, wasn't he?
He was in Die Hard, Big Trouble in Little China.
So cool.
Yeah. It did a lot of stunts.
How's he doing?
He's done pretty good. He's had some cancer
Oh,
issues and things like that, but he's doing pretty good.
I'm glad he's doing good. That's cool. You guys kept in touch. Did you guys just become friends on set?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You know, it's funny. Like Keanu and I kept in touch for like a couple of years.
Oh wow.
Nice, dude.
Yeah.
How was Keanu? What was that like? What was that
It was
experience like?
great. I mean, he was
Yeah.
just so real. I mean, I think he was auditioning for a movie where he had to play the guitar.
Uh-huh.
He's like, dude, I don't know if I could do this. You know, we're talking back and forth. This is when he lived like in apartment down in San Diego, close to LA.
Which is ironic
Yeah.
because he went on to be in Dog Star and playing bass and everything.
Yeah.
So ironic.
Yeah. Yeah. So we kept in touch for quite a while.
What advice did you give him at that point in time?
I just said, be real, just play and practice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
That's all you can do.
that's the best.
So, yeah,
And
that
then
was
how about Alex Winter?
Alice Winter was cool. I mean, that guy is so intelligent.
Yeah, he seems like it.
But on set, we're like, okay, where's the next party? And things
Okay.
like that. And when the rap party at the end of the day, they'll bring a big coolers and it'd be like Corona beer and
Nice.
things like that. But yeah, we always hung out, all three of us. And it's funny because here I am, like the times that we're not filming, we're sitting on the grass at the school.
Uh-huh.
Girls would walk up thinking I was somebody. It's like, hey, it's just these are the guys who are something, not me. Can I have your autograph too? You're right there.
This is great.
You're like, well, sure.
It's like when I got girls coming like that. Yeah, definitely.
That's awesome. One of the many perks,
Yeah,
right?
that's it.
Yeah. So that was a lot of fun.
Did you get the chance to cross paths with George Carlin?
Yeah, it's a Circle K for a little bit.
So cool.
Yeah.
Tell me all about that experience.
He was, I don't know how you can say it. He was goofy as he always was.
Yeah.
He was very outgoing. I kept in touch with him for a while. I actually brought my son to Vegas when he was performing there not
Wow.
too long before he died.
That's awesome.
And we had a special thing. I always remember Bill and Alice and Keanu, their names mixed up. Alice and Keanu, they had a name. They had Bill Bringer and Ground Stomper because of the horses.
Okay.
So next time I would go see like George Carlin, he remembers this. I go see him, give him the code or whatever, say, come on backstage.
Oh, that is
Good.
cool. So you got to
Yeah,
hang backstage with George Carlin?
sure did.
That is badass. I
Got
mean,
my
that is
son
just
an
amazing.
autograph. Yeah,
That is so cool.
my
That is
son
so
was a big nut. You know, that's one of his favorite characters in Bill and Ted's, believe it or not,
I
was
bet.
Rufus.
Rufus was amazing. That was one thing I was disappointed in the newest one that they did, the Face the Music movie,
Yeah,
was there was so little George Carlin. Like I know they did a little homage to him where there was like a hologram, but like
yeah.
that was it. And I personally, just as a fan, I was very disappointed. I was like, oh man, I thought they were going to do more, or at least reference him more, and maybe use some old footage, or maybe some deleted scenes or something. But who knows? But huge, yeah, huge George Carlin fan. He was amazing.
Oh, he was great. He was a character. I mean, he's just very open, talking to people and everything else. He's not like that typical, as you would say, movie star, like leave me alone type thing. He was
Refreshing.
very, yeah, he was very open to people and talked.
That was one of the few locations we've gone to from Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventures. We went to that
Circle K.
Circle K back when it was still a Circle K.
Hmm.
And now it's like just a generic quickie mart. Like they took away the branding of Circle K. And what was kind of
Yeah,
weird is we went in there and it was like they just had like an old kind of like torn up poster of Bill and
a Bill
Ted
and
like behind the
Ted's.
register. And I was like,
Right.
man, you guys should be capitalizing on this. Like, but that was cool. We went there and then of course Metro Center. So we've done two of the locations. But you weren't you part of Sean Clark's
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, talk about that. Like, because I feel like you have so many cool stories. Like, was there anything that you didn't cover on Sean Clark's video that you'd like to talk about, or like any like additional fun
Uh,
stories you'd kind of like to expand on working on the movie?
well, it's funny. Well, the way I met Sean Clark is I wanted to find somebody that would help me do the near dark locations.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've talked to, I think Michael and Jessica from Grim Life.
Oh, love them. Yeah, they're great.
Yeah.
We did an interview with them a few years ago, and they were like the sweetest people. They're so cool.
Oh, they're great.
Yeah, they're so nice. Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking about them, and then I stumbled upon Sean's channel
Hmm.
and I was watching his film locations and things like that.
Yeah, Sean's awesome.
He did Bill and Ted's with Adam DeWoo.
Oh, the Woo. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And I thought, okay, he's pretty much got nailed everything except for one place. That
Okay.
was the baseball park.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And in my mind, I just couldn't remember where that was for the longest time.
And that was the
So
one
I,
with the baseball park. That was with Deacon, the little brother,
Deacon,
right?
right,
Deacon. Yeah.
right. So that just took a long time to figure out where that was.
Where was it? I don't even remember.
It's, you know where Sunsplash is?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a little bit south of there.
Oh, very
Wow.
cool. Because they use
Mhm.
Sunsplash, right? Didn't they use
Yeah,
Sunsplash? Or
yeah,
at least the exterior of it, right? There was like
yeah,
part of it was like actually in San Dimas, right? And then part of it was Sunsplash.
yeah. Part of it was in California and the other part was
That's
on
crazy.
Sunsplash. So they kind of cut, the bowling alley was right around there.
That
But I was trying so hard, and then all of a sudden I found it. I mean, I was so excited. I told Sean and everything else. He says, "Okay, when we do the near dark locations, we're going to stop and do the baseball part." Then I was watching this other guy that does movie things for 1980s movies
okay.
called 80s Life or something like that.
Oh, I think I follow him on Instagram. Yeah.
Yeah, I was watching, he's doing something on Bill and Ted. So I went, okay, this is interesting. He was there at the baseball park.
At the same time?
No, but I don't know when he went. I think he went after we did, but he got
Oh.
it up before we did.
Oh shit. Yeah.
Yeah, well, you should have heard what Sean said.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was a little more, yeah,
I get it. A little
and
colorful.
yeah, a little more colorful when
Yeah.
he texted me and said, "Oh, yeah."
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when he came out, we went out there real quick. We did that baseball scene, and then we did all the near dark. But it took us 2 years
Oh my
to do
God.
near dark.
That's crazy. Yeah,
Must have been a long shoot.
I remember talking to Sean and he was saying that like a lot of that stuff that he does, he gets so in depth it takes a little longer than you expect because he like really does his research and really and it shows, like it's like
Oh,
super detail oriented, which is awesome.
yeah, he's very meticulous. He likes to get things done and get everything in there.
Yeah, I just watched the one he did for Halloween H2O that was connected with the Scott on Tape Scream
Yeah,
3
with
that
Scott on tape
location.
parade.
That was so good, man. It was so detailed. I was just like,
Yeah,
I watched the whole thing. I was like, man, that was great.
that's just the way he is. I
Yeah,
mean, and I had so much fun. It's like we knew each other for years.
that's the
You're
best.
sitting in the car, we're listening to music, jamming, and
That's cool.
all this. I mean, we love the same type of music.
That's awesome.
And I was joking with him. I said, "Yeah, near dark." This is kind of funny. I had still all my makeup on and looked like I was burned and everything else.
Yeah.
And I was going with the concert with my mom called Gene Loves Jezebel.
Oh, I've seen Gene Loves Jezebel.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're good.
And the people are saying, "Oh my God, is he okay?" And this lady tapped me on the shoulder. "Are you sure you don't want me to call the ambulance?" I remembered what Bill Paxton said about this one scene. He said, "You should see the other guy."
That's
So I
hilarious.
kind of put that in there. I said,
That's
"Yeah, you should have seen the
hilarious.
other." But yeah, so that was kind of interesting, but
How long did the makeup take to like to get all done up like
it
that
took
to
a
look like
while.
you were burnt up by the sun?
It took about an hour.
Yeah.
Wow,
Jeez.
that's
Took about an
crazy.
hour
That's
because they had
fun.
to take these little sponges, first of all, to scrape them. Look like you got scraped blood on your face.
Yeah,
And then they put all the other stuff on there. The makeup artist, she was great.
that's
That's cool.
fantastic. Yeah, that's like something that fascinates me is like the makeup work that goes into like making people look all messed up, especially in
Right,
horror films. Like I
right.
think it's so cool, like the Rick Baker stuff, like it's so fascinating. But I had a question, I just forgot. What was I gonna say? Oh, when I was watching Near Dark, one thing that really blew my mind.
Yeah.
Hello, baby. One thing that really
Hey,
blew
how
my
are
mind
you?
was all the people that were connected with the first Terminator and the second Terminator, because
Right.
Catherine Bigelow at that time was dating James Cameron, correct?
Correct. Correct.
And so you had a bunch of people that showed up. You had John Connor's stepmom, who
Mhm.
was, I forget the actress name. It's
Um,
tip of my
um,
tongue. I'll pull it up. But yeah, she was in there, and I gotta
yeah.
say, so attractive. She was so beautiful.
Oh, I know. I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah, she was gorgeous. Give me one
Yeah,
second.
she worked out for Terminator 2.
Oh, yeah,
Hamilton. I just had her name for a second.
Jeanette Goldstein.
Oh, Jeanette Goldstein.
Yes, yeah,
Oh, okay.
so
I
she
thought
was
you're
the
okay.
you were thinking Linda Hamilton.
Linda Hamilton.
But
Yeah.
no, Jeanette Goldstein. Yeah, she played in Terminator 2 John Connor's stepmom, who
Yeah.
the T-1000 takes the form of, and then I'm sorry, not stepmom, foster mom.
Foster. That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah, and then
That's right.
she kills the foster dad with the he's drinking the milk.
I
Wolfie's
forgot
fine,
about
dear.
that.
But I saw her and I was like, wow, like she was also in Aliens, of course, as well,
Yeah.
and Bill Paxton, of course, and then you had there was
Lance
somebody,
Hendrickson.
yeah, Lance Henriksen, who was
Yeah.
the detective in Terminator, and he was originally going to be the Terminator before Arnie. He was like
Right.
the prototype, and I was like, when I was watching this, I'm like, dude, did James Cameron write this or something? And then I looked it up, and I'm like, oh, the Catherine Bigelow connection.
Right.
But
Right.
yeah, so cool, like such an amazing gem.
Yeah.
But
The other thing that Jeanette Goldstein was in was the Titanic.
was she? I don't remember her in that.
Yeah. Remember she had the two little kids and she was kind of comforting them. She
Oh,
was
that's
in
right.
the Titanic.
Sure. Dang, that's crazy.
So
I feel
Bill
like I've been
Paxton, of course, was in it.
Yeah, oh, yeah, and then he was in the first one as well. Um,
So
but I feel like I've been talking so much. Emmett, did you want to hop in and ask some questions?
I don't have any particular questions. I guess I'm not totally sure exactly how much of going back to Bill and Ted was filmed here because I obviously knew
mhm.
about Metro Center,
Mm-hmm.
but I didn't know about Coronado and the baseball park and the Circle K. I knew about. Like, how many different spots were you guys at around town?
There was a lot. There's Dick Van Dyke Studios, which is in Carefree.
Wow, okay.
I guess he lives there.
That was actually a movie studio.
I
Then there
didn't
was
know
Dick
about that.
and
I knew
Dick Van
about
Dyke.
old Tucson studios, but I didn't know about Dick Van Dyke Studios.
Yeah, you just go down Carefree Highway. It was right there. It's right
Oh,
towards the those mountains
oh shit.
the area. Yeah.
That's awesome.
When did that close down?
Oh, geez.
I
Trying to
wish that was still
think.
here.
Yeah, I think it
Yeah.
was in sometimes in the late 90s.
Wow, what a shame.
Yeah, I mean, it was great. I mean, they used that
Oh,
for, I was out there doing, commercials and things like that myself.
that's great. What a missed opportunity. That was one thing Arizona really screwed up on at that point in
Yeah,
time. And New Mexico really took over because they got like, Breaking Bad and they did like the first Avengers movie and a bunch of stuff out in New Mexico. I
yeah,
wish Arizona would have kept that momentum going that it seemed like they had in the 80s, with
right.
filming stuff out here. They really, tripped up on that with the whole tax incentive thing.
Going back to your question, I mean, there's so many different locations that they use for Bill and Ted's. I mean, we had the bowling alley, which was not too far from the Waterloo, as you would
Okay.
call it. The baseball field was right around there. That one of the production offices was right over there. So
Wow.
that helped out a lot. And then we got, Metro Center, Carefree Studios, East High School, Coronado High School. So it was used pretty much all throughout the valley, if you think
That's
about it.
awesome. I know Ted's house was off Central,
Yes.
right? It was off
Yeah.
Central.
Yeah, the real expensive house. That was they filmed inside and they filmed on the in the backyard where they
Cool.
had Missy and they
Yep.
had the phone booth land and all that.
Missy, I
Yeah.
mean, mom.
Mom. Wow. But yeah, that was filmed there right off of I think Bethany Home, right around that area.
Okay.
It was kind of north of there on Central.
Interesting.
So it was that, and then there was the other one where Keanu's house was, which I can't remember to this day where it is, but it's right around, not too far from that area.
That's so cool.
And then I think
So
the police station was over in Old Town Scottsdale, right?
yes,
Yeah.
yes, yeah,
Not too far away.
That is so much missed opportunity. You always hear that story that Hollywood was supposed to be in Phoenix.
yeah,
And the guy like went to Flagstaff by accident and decided the weather was bad, so he went on to
Yeah.
California. But
What could have
man,
been?
yeah, it would have been
yeah.
perfect.
I mean, there's so many things, from when I worked on Bill and Ted's, I worked on a TV series called The Highwayman with Sam Jones.
Oh,
He
very cool.
played Flash Gordon. in the 1980 movie.
That's awesome.
That's so sick.
How was
So
that?
we
How was that experience?
that was great. That
Yeah.
was a lot of fun too.
Was everything you did local, or did you go to?
I ended up going to California. I ended up going to also Vegas to work on some movies. Looney Tunes back in action.
Oh, no
Nice.
way.
Yeah,
That's like the
yeah.
part we're both most excited.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So
Wow. And so that let me wait a minute.
Like how we both wake up when
we
he mentions
just
Looney Tunes
we
back in
no we
action.
had
okay,
just,
now
we
you
had
guys
just
are
talked
going.
about that. And wait a minute.
Oh, man.
That
Brendan
was the
Fraser.
same director of Small Soldiers, wasn't it? Wasn't it
Yeah.
and Gremlins, Joe Dante, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you got Steve Martin in there. You got Brendan Fraser in there.
Did you
That
get any interaction with Steve Martin and Brendan Fraser?
Brendan Fraser, I did.
Wow. Tell the Brendan story, please. We're here.
He's great. I mean, the
Yeah.
guy is just, a character. He's basically what he is in the film in
Yeah.
real life.
That's great.
That's kind of how he is.
That
That's
is
what
And
I
I
like to
got,
hear.
yeah, I met Daffy Duck. I met Bugs Bunny.
That's what was my next question. I heard at that point in time, Daffy had a pretty hardcore coke addiction.
Oh man,
And
I'm
it was
telling
he
you, it
was
was
like a
rough.
wreck on set.
It was rough. I mean,
I'm glad he got through it,
he became stuck sometimes when they put him like in I think it was Jeff Gordon's car or something like that, the race car.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So that was, I mean, it was a lot of fun.
Bugs
So I
That
Bunny
worked
was
on
nice.
that.
That
Worked
was
on
nice.
that, worked on Angel, worked on CSI.
Oh, very cool.
See,
So
that's cool.
You know which one I saw that I was curious about that I would be remiss if I didn't mention was Head of State with Chris Rock.
oh, good grief, yeah.
Yeah, let's talk about that because Chris Rock, hilarious, amazing. I'm just super curious about that one.
He you talk about a natural comedian, he is.
Yeah.
I remember it's on my radio because then now I was doing production.
Okay.
And he had us down the street, and of course he's having all these extras running out of the house. You can hear him on the radio telling these extras, I want you to run out of the house like Godzilla is chasing you like there is no tomorrow. So, I mean, and then I also got to tell Chris Rock where to go.
Oh, okay.
We're on the Hoover Dam. You know what that bus, the head of state bus?
Yeah.
They filmed it going across the Hoover Dam, which I wish they would have kept that in the movie.
That
It
would
was
have been
great.
awesome. That would have been just visually amazing.
Well, this was right around, not too far around 9/11.
Okay.
And we got up there, they had the security checkpoint, and the guy's like, okay, what is your business on the dam?
Mhm.
And the driver says, we're going to be doing some shooting.
And Chris Rock said, "None of your damn business."
Yeah, none of your damn business. So he was behind the other vehicle behind us.
Okay.
And the driver's like, yeah, we're going to be doing some shooting on the dam. And they like, no, wait a second. Did you just say shooting? So they had to go through things and everything else. Chris Rock wasn't too happy, but
Classic.
it went by pretty quick.
This
Wow.
film is going to be the bomb.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love car
So-
bombs.
Yeah.
2 for
That was a
5.
lot of fun.
That's
But
great.
when Chris Rock was there, and then I said, okay, Chris, you need to go over to certain locations and stuff like that. So
That's awesome.
it was a great guy to work with.
That's
It
very
really
cool.
was. He
Did you
didn't get
feel-
slapped or anything, so he was
That's what I
okay.
was gonna say. I was gonna say, did you feel personally attacked with the whole Will Smith thing? You were like, wait a
Yeah.
minute, that's my boy. That's Chris
Yeah,
Rock.
he was good. I liked him. I like Chris Rock. It was great.
That's awesome. Yeah, he's hilarious. But yeah, you've worked on a lot of great stuff, man. So I guess the real question is like, if you had to pick your top 3 things that you've worked on, like which were your personal favorites that,
Oh
you're
my
like you're the most proud of, or that you feel the most connected to, or like you still like to go back and rewatch and like as a fan.
First one, I mean, I love Bill and Ted's, of course,
Yeah.
always in my heart.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say the first one would be Near Dark.
All right.
Oh yeah.
Cool.
So
Near
good.
Dark. That's probably the closest to my heart. Not because it was my first movie and stuff. It's just because the way I got to intertwine with all the talent.
Yeah.
It was very personal. Catherine Bigelow was great.
I bet. What an icon.
Yeah, she was incredible. And then next would be Bill and Ted's, of course.
Heck yeah.
Most excellent.
What would be if you had to pick your bronze medal choice, your third one? What would be your third one?
Well, if you just say movies and not TV series like The Highwayman, I would have to say Head of State.
Had to stay. That's
Yeah.
cool.
And then what
I'd
about
say-
TV series? Top
TV
3.
series, The Highwayman, was my favorite.
That's cool.
That's really cool.
That was the most fun TV series I ever worked on. I got to meet so many people from Wayne Newton to Chad
Wow,
Everett.
Wayne Newton.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Love Wayne Newton.
Yeah. And one scene we were in Zazu's was down in Phoenix. It
Okay.
was a big famous, dance place or whatever back in the day. And I went to walk up. I was going up to Wayne and these big bodyguards, they go, no, no. Wayne's like, you go and you go. I'm gonna have a conversation with my friend.
That's sick.
That's badass.
Yeah. So I worked with him on a couple of different scenes.
That's awesome.
That is cool. Yeah, I've always liked Wayne Newton. That's someone I'd like to see live. I know he's still doing shows like at the Flamingo and he's still actively
Oh yeah.
performing, which is just amazing. He's like, definitely getting up there in years and
Yeah.
hasn't missed a beat, which is so cool.
Yeah.
Um, I'm sorry, continue.
No, I was just gonna say I've been up to his place. It's called the Flying Eagle. It was up in Vegas. I've been to his
Oh,
home and everything else.
that's so cool. Shenandoah, right?
Shenandoah. Yeah, the Flying Eagle was the his, trademark or what have you.
That is
But the
so cool.
Shenandoah, yeah, with the big plane, with part of the plane was part of a building and
That's
everything
badass.
else.
Did he
Yeah, it
make
was
you pasta and do karate?
yeah, we just talked.
Oh, that is
We just
cool.
talked. Yeah.
That's badass. Yeah, I've always really liked Wayne Newton. Like he's just such a unique character,
Yeah.
and so
Yeah.
talented. What a talented guy.
Oh, I know. I mean, his first big break that I saw him on was the Lucy show with
Oh yeah,
Lucille Ball.
yeah, Lucille.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's awesome.
He was
I
just a
used to have a
kid.
neighbor growing up. Her name was Bobby Bateman, and she was yeah, one of our neighbors. And she actually went to school with Wayne Newton, and she like had grown up with him, which I always thought was kind of interesting.
Well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, she was, a unique character herself. But yeah,
Yeah.
always been fascinated with Wayne Newton. I loved him in
Yeah.
Vegas Vacation in particular.
Oh, geez. Yeah. That was fine. Oh, my friend was in Vegas Vacation, and
Really?
I got him a job on Head of State.
Oh, that's cool. What did he
And
do?
yeah, he played Randy Quaid's oldest son, the one with the pierced face.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
It's like
badass.
that doesn't hurt, does it? Uh-uh. Right.
That's crazy. I see you also worked with Charlie Sheen on Beyond the Law. Tell me
Yep.
about Beyond the Law.
That was filmed, I think, in 1990, 91. It's filmed over at Jackass Acres out
Okay.
in New River.
Cool, cool.
And again, everybody says these actors and this and that are all like stuck on themselves or whatever. Charlie Sheen, I finally got to sit down and talk with them.
Uh-huh.
And it was kind of odd. We were doing that scene, the biker scene there at the gas station, the Jackass Acres.
I haven't seen it in a long time. I remember liking it though, but I haven't seen Beyond the Law in probably 10 plus years, but definitely refresh my memory. But I remember liking it.
Yeah, he was a biker. He was in disguise as a what, DEA or something like that.
Yeah, he was undercover.
Undercover, right.
Yeah.
Or and we're sitting there, I'm standing there on set, and he's sitting on the chair, and he's like, and there's an empty seat right there, director's chair. And he's like, you can sit down. I said, no, that's the director's chair. I'm not gonna even try it. He
Yeah.
says, sit down, you're fine. So we started talking for a while. I started taking pictures. Took pictures of him, went into the trailer, took more pictures of him with his girlfriend and stuff like that.
Oh, that's cool.
So I did that, and then the next day I got him developed, brought him by, gave some pictures to Charlie. He signed one of my pictures, and it was a picture of him on a motorcycle with the director.
That's
Oh,
cool.
that's badass.
Yeah, and he loved them. He says I will always treasure these pictures. I will put them on the wall.
That is
That's
the
awesome.
best.
Yeah.
It's so cool, man.
So I mean, working with somebody like that, it was to me, it was just like an everyday person.
Yeah.
I've always been a big fan of Charlie Sheen.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, it seems great.
I know he had his controversies and stuff, but
Right.
personally, like I always really liked him. I always really respected him. Like Platoon, what a masterpiece. Wall
Yeah.
Street, 2.5 Men. I mean, so good.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. He's just an average guy. I just
Yeah.
worked with him and taught to him and had a great time on set.
Yeah, he seems like it. He definitely seems like it. But I wanted to ask you, it's like not to focus on too many of the people that you've worked with, but they're so iconic, like I have to ask, you know. But you yourself, it's like you're still, pretty active in the industry, and I know
Yeah.
you're working on something right now that you're writing, correct?
Yeah, it's I don't know if we're trying to keep it a little hush hush, but
Okay.
it's been out there enough.
Sure.
A
Only
good
up
friend of
to
mine,
exclusive scoop.
Yeah.
yeah, the Scoop.
Yeah. Now, whatever you're comfortable with, whatever you're comfortable with.
No, no, by the way, the last movie I worked on, I gotta throw this in there before we go about, what we're talking about. It was a movie called Forget About It. Okay, you ready for this?
Sure,
This
sure.
was Burt Reynolds,
Oh my God.
Raquel Welch, Phyllis Diller, Charles Duran, Robert Loggia,
Oh my God.
and my friend who I've known over 20 years now, Richard Grieco from 21 Jump Street
Wow.
and
Yeah.
Night of the Roxbury.
What year was that? If Burt
Yeah,
Reynolds was still, or was that 2019?
that was in, oh geez, 2003.
Oh, okay. We're
Wow,
going back. Okay.
Yeah, 2003.
that's great.
So Burt Reynolds was great.
Oh my God. Yeah, we love Burt Reynolds.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
became close friends with Phyllis Diller, went to her house in Brentwood,
Wow. Okay. Phyllis.
got
Yeah.
a painting from her and
Wow.
everything else. So,
That's
but yeah,
amazing.
Richard and I became very, very close friends.
Richard
And
Grieco.
we're working on a script called The Ghostwriters.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, it's a supernatural Western. It's not, like Nick Cage, Ghost Rider, or anything else
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
Which we
These
also
are
love.
right. That was a good
It
movie.
was fun.
But
Yeah.
but this is about these outlaws that die and they come back as ghostwriters.
Ooh, cool.
Yeah, so this boy has dreams about these dead cowboys and things like that, and just all entwined, and yeah, it's very supernatural, like a ghost story, like the song "Ghost Riders in the Sky."
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's
Yeah.
a great one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
There's not enough of that has been expanded on and developed,
well,
so that's really cool.
it should be because I mean, it brings like a campfire story right to your door.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
It has the original elements of a real Western story, but some supernatural ghost story with it.
That's
Really cool, man.
fantastic.
Yeah.
So what you guys what stage of it are you in right now? Like without revealing too much, is it something you're shopping around on like which
Yeah,
studio to connect it
yeah,
to? Okay, cool, cool.
yeah, yeah. Richard's been shopping it around,
That
All
so
is
right.
so exciting.
We'll be
Well,
on the lookout. We're both huge Western fans.
huge Western
yeah,
fans. Yes.
yeah.
That
I
is so
did.
exciting with the supernatural spin though. That's like something unique that
And
kind of sets it apart.
yeah, I was gonna say the only even not even like what you're doing, but the only slightly supernatural Western thing I can think of, and it's not even really full on supernatural, but it's just kind of oogie boogie is a Bone Tomahawk,
Uh-huh.
Right, right.
which was great.
I
I thought it
need
was great. You should
I
check
need
it
to
out
watch
again.
all of it. I need to watch all of it. Yeah.
I've never
Yeah,
seen it.
you should
I've
check it
never
out.
seen it.
There's no ghosts or anything, but it's like the villains in the film are so like demonic.
Okay.
There are no powers or anything, but just like
Right.
the way they appear is so almost otherworldly and just like spooky, and
Interesting.
it's
Hmm.
cool. It's the
That's
only
the
thing
one
I can think of that's
Kurt,
like slightly
Kurt Russell, right?
yeah, girls.
Kurt Russell.
Yeah, Kurt Russell. So I
It's a
thought.
cool
Yeah,
one.
That's
I
awesome.
want to see it, but I
Yeah.
haven't seen it yet.
So many good ones.
Um, the other thing I got to work with is real quick was Glenn Ford,
Oh
Western
wow.
actor.
Really?
Yeah, I got to work on a movie called Borderland Shootout. Originally, it was called La Rendado, but they changed it to Borderland Shootout with
Wow,
Glenn
how was
Ford. One of his
that? Tell
like,
us tell us
it was a
about the
lot of
Glenn
fun.
Ford adventure.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun working with Glenn
Nice.
Ford.
Where was that shot? I'm sorry.
There was a place called Cowtown, which
Okay.
is Lake Pleasant. There was a whole western town built by a guy named Ron Nix.
Oh.
Ron Nix is one of the best stuntmen. He's stuntman for Elvis Presley, for John Wayne.
Oh wow.
Whoa.
He had a lot of big name actors come out there, and so I mean I can just go on and on and on
Does
and
that place still
probably put,
exist, or did Cowtown, or did they tear it down?
I don't know. Last time I talked to Ron, it was still out there.
Wow.
Where is that again?
You know where Lake Pleasant is?
Yeah.
It's kind of, if you go, the hang glider place. you know where you go for rides for hang gliders
Yeah.
on the way to Lake Pleasant? You go
Yep.
down this dirt road, you keep going to the base of the mountains. That's where Cowtown is.
Wow.
Oh, and where do
Paintball,
you live right now? What side of town are you on?
What's the
north of
exact
Phoenix.
address?
Yeah.
We're gonna dox you right now. Yeah.
All right. It is okay. You got to
You're
turn
gonna give
left
it
here, then you got to turn right. Okay.
But are you in Scottsdale or Phoenix or
North Phoenix.
North
Nice,
Phoenix?
nice.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm over
North
in
Phoenix.
West Phoenix and Emmett's in Scottsdale.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is maybe we could meet up and collab on a video soon one of these days.
I think it'd be great. I think it'd
Yeah,
be a lot
yeah.
of fun.
You know,
I'm
there's
very outgoing.
that's
Good.
awesome. Yeah, no, we'd love to have you on a video one of these days. But there's one I want to do. Do you remember back in the day there was a local band called Billy Clone and the Same?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that
They
was
yeah, I'm a
oh,
fan of those guys and they released one EP and then the lead singer tragically overdosed and passed away.
right.
I wanted to do a video on him and his final resting place, which is over here in Green Acres,
Yeah.
and which we're intimately familiar with because we've done so many videos there. It's kind of ridiculous.
Wow.
Shouldn't be laughing about a cemetery, but we've been there a ton.
Yeah.
Um, but I thought it'd be cool to do a full Billy Clone video and
That's a good
really
idea.
get deep into it, and I've tried to reach out to different members of the band, but no one seems interested in talking.
Yeah.
But I do have a contact who is fairly close with the band.
Yeah.
That's cool.
What are we doing?
So now you're getting me onto my music side of
Yeah,
my
but I
life.
was gonna say, that might be a cool one for you to jump on at some point.
Yeah.
Because you're familiar with the Valley, you're familiar with music,
Oh yeah.
and yeah, that might be a cool one to have you jump on with us. Because I was thinking about going there pretty soon and doing the cemetery and then doing more documentary style for the rest of the video, kind of chronicling the story of the band and then how they evolved into the Jetsons and everything like that. So that might be a cool one for
I think that would be great. I mean,
yeah.
I got so many. I mean, I could go on and on. Stories like from Roy Orbison, me getting to know him and the family.
You get to know Roy Orbison?
Oh gosh, yeah.
Please.
Went to the funeral. I went to Hendersonville.
How
Went
how
to
did
the
you meet
funeral.
Roy Orbison?
I was at the airport
Okay.
and those summer jobs or whatever I had at
Yeah,
a
yeah.
gift store. And he came in with his guitar player, Bucky Barrett.
Wow.
And I saw him and I went out. I said, I gotta be right back. I gotta find out, make sure this is Roy Orbison.
Yeah.
And I went out there to start talking with him and everything else. And he said, all right, kid, I'll go get some ice cream. You want to go with me? I said, sure.
Okay.
So we went over there, talked a little bit, and he wrote down his number. They gave me Terry Elam's, who was the band manager's card, who actually got what's his I can't think of his name right now, another country singer going, same when the last cowboy is gone. Big hair or whatever, outlaw looking guy.
I don't know. It wasn't Waylon, was it?
No, this is one of the newer guys.
Oh, I don't know.
But
Sorry.
but I ended up becoming friends with Robertson and the family.
That's crazy. And you just met at the airport.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I guess the real question here, Larry, is what's what do you think the secret is to being such a good networker? I think I know what it is. I think it's just being real, right? Just
Just
being
being
yourself.
myself. Well, be yourself adventures,
Be
right?
yourself adventures.
Right. I mean, I was just being myself. I mean, I
Yeah.
just, I like talking to people
Yeah.
and I knew who it was and I just had to go. My opportunity was right there just to say
That's
hi.
amazing.
I wasn't going to, bug them or anything. I just wanted to say
Yeah.
hi to them. And then we
What
started
what what year
talking.
would that have been when you met Roy?
87,
87. Okay, so
right
right
around the
around
time.
right around Wilbur's era.
Yeah. Yeah. Met Jeff Lynne.
Oh my God.
That was cool
Wow.
from ELO.
Did you ever get to see the Wilburys?
No,
Oh
no.
man, I would have killed to see the Wilburys.
Yeah.
God,
Yeah.
that's
No,
amazing.
but I did get to meet Jeff Lynne.
That is so
That's awesome.
cool. I'm glad
So
he's getting ELO back. Do you see that? He's coming around
yeah,
here in
yeah, I
October.
did. I did.
So cool.
I mean, he hasn't changed at all.
Yeah.
That's
No,
one guy, you look at him, Jeff Lynne, he has not changed.
he's fantastic.
It's like, I don't know how he doesn't.
Yeah, he's incredible. So
But
I'm sorry,
go
go ahead.
ahead.
I was gonna say you're pretty deep into music. Do you play any
Oh
music
yeah.
yourself?
Yeah, I play guitar, I do some singing, I play piano,
That's awesome.
That's
Cool.
bad.
Have
I
have
write
you
music.
have you released some stuff?
Back in the day, back in the late 1980s and stuff like
That's
that.
sick. What was it under? Was it just under your name or was it under a band?
On a
Cool. What
band
was it? Shout it out.
called Vessel.
Vessel.
Vessel. Very
Yeah.
cool.
Opened up for a band and we opened up for a one of Sean's favorite bands, Striper.
Oh, Striper. Okay, sick.
So we opened up for Striper.
That
That's
is
awesome.
actually really badass.
Yeah.
That's cool, man.
So that just kind of tells you.
Well, that's
But
awesome.
that was fun. I mean, it just I'm telling you, I got people like from the Monkees, the Beach Boys, became close family friends with Merle Haggard.
Wow. Who did you
You
know in the
know,
Monkees?
I knew Mickey Dolenz very well. Good friends of his.
He's probably my favorite
And
monkey. I love Mickey.
yeah, yeah. I met Davy Jones, met Peter Tork,
Oh, cool.
and never met Michael.
Wow. He was too
So
busy with his whiteout.
yeah, exactly, exactly.
He was
Or
busy
his
beach nail singing Last
yeah,
Train to Clarksville compulsively.
right, right.
I'm kidding. But
Yeah.
so where did you meet Mickey Dolenz?
I was working on a commercial or something like that. He was out there and they were doing a show. I didn't know they were doing a show.
Wow.
So we're sitting in this hotel and here comes um, Mickey Dolenz walking in to
That's
sit
so
down. And he
cool.
sat down right where I was. So we started talking. And then later on, I met Davy Jones and then Peter Tork.
Wow. And what around what year would that have been approximately?
I think that was 89.
Okay, so it was back when they were doing like their like
Yeah,
reunion.
the reunion tour.
That makes sense why you wouldn't have met Michael Nesmith because he wasn't with them
Yeah,
at that point, right?
correct.
It was
Correct.
just Peter Tork, Davy Jones, and man, that
Yeah,
is
and
so
I
cool.
remember a time when Davy Jones's daughter, she was really, really little. And she came up to me and says, I don't supposed to tell you this, but my daddy's really famous.
That's cute.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
So that was pretty neat. But
That is so cool. And where was that? Was that here in the Valley where they
yeah, I
were
was
playing?
here. It was in Scottsdale.
Oh, that is so cool, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
I
I
mean,
definitely love the Monkees.
there's just so many people. I mean, that's why I was so glad to be able to talk to you. But I don't usually put things out there. It's like, oh yeah, you met let's see, see who else? Matt Jordine and Al Jordine and Mike Love and all of them from the Beach
Oh,
Boys.
Beach Boys, yeah.
Great White, the band Great
Oh,
White.
Great White's awesome. Kind of underrated, I feel like. They're great.
Yeah, yeah, met those guys.
That's cool. What
So
was
it's
something I
just,
always ask? Sorry to cut you off there.
no,
So,
no.
but it ties in with what we're talking about. Something I always ask guests on, at least on What a Week It's Been, but we can incorporate it into Unfazed as well, is what was the very first concert you ever went to,
Oh,
and what was the
jeez.
most recent concert that you went to?
Um, first concert, AC/DC.
AC/DC,
Strong
sick.
first.
That's a very
For
strong
for
first.
those about to rock,
Oh, cool. Where did they play at? Was that
Compton
I
Terrace.
was gonna say Compton Terrace, yeah. Was that
Yeah.
the Compton Terrace by Legend City or was that the
Yep.
Compton Terrace? Cool.
Yep. Yep.
Cool, man.
Did we ever make
So
that into anything?
We never did.
We vlogged that a while
Oh
back.
no, we did. Yeah, no,
No,
that
did we?
that one went to my Dead Music Venues
Oh,
video.
nice, nice.
And
Yeah, good, yeah.
I did a thing on Graham Central Station. And I did a thing on the original Compton Terrace, which was out by Legend City.
Man,
And then we
yeah.
threw in a little bit about Legend City. Um,
that was sad. It was just like a parking lot, and there was like a
yeah.
security guard
Oh,
that shoot us off.
Yeah. And then we did
yeah.
a video. It was all in the same video, and I did a thing on the Mason Jar, which is now the
Yeah.
Rebel Lounge.
Yep.
And then I think I did a little bit on the Rhythm Room as well, which is still open, but everything
Then you
else
got Mr.
covered.
Lucky's used to be,
Oh, Mr. Lucky's was in there too, yeah.
yeah, where Wayland started.
Man,
So,
I went down to Mr. Lucky's to record that
And
video,
you
and
died.
it was
right.
terrifying. Now,
Ooh,
terrifying. I remember walking down there and I was like, okay, I'm gonna get this footage quick. It was like one of those
really?
where it's like I went, oh, it's so scary now. It's so scary.
Yeah.
And
Ooh,
well, at least as of like 3 years ago when
Yeah,
I
no,
did it, it was terrifying.
I
Yeah.
drove down that street a lot to go to my
Yeah.
producer, and it was
It was scary.
I'd
Yeah.
never leave my doors unlocked around there.
Yeah, it was guarded by Doberman Pinschers and Rottweilers, And no offense to the dogs, I'm sure they
Oh
could be
yeah.
sweet dogs, but they were on duty, so they were terrifying.
Ooh.
And yeah, heavy traffic and very, very filthy
A lot of
area
gangs,
down
a lot of
there.
homeless over there.
Yeah, pretty bad. And it was really sad, because I know, some of the history of Mr.
Yeah.
Lucky's. And one of my uncles was a bouncer there back in late 70s, early 80s. And my dad loved going there when he was younger. And it was, a fun place with wasn't it country upstairs, rock downstairs, or was it vice
Yeah, it
versa?
was something like that.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
but you look at it now, it's just a sad, sad, scary place.
Yeah.
that
But I'm
is.
glad I documented. I tacked that onto the end of that Dead Venues videos.
Yeah, my mom went to see Waylon there
Oh yeah, because he
at
was,
Mr.
I think,
Lucky's.
he was like a joint owner of it, wasn't he?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
God, love
yeah,
Waylon. Waylon was so
yeah.
cool.
He loved being out here in Arizona. I worked when I did my studio time, music time, worked at a place called Pantheon Recording Studio.
Pantheon, that
It,
sounds so
Yeah, nice.
familiar.
you had people like Dawkins, it had um what's his name from Fleetwood Mac.
Lindsey Buckingham?
Yeah, it had his board there
Oh,
beside
sick.
there.
That's cool.
You had Jesse Coulter that would come in,
Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
a
nice.
lot. Dawkins would come in.
Oh, Dockman's great.
Yeah. So that was there out there in Van Gordon near
Pantheon,
in
that sounds so
Scottsdale.
familiar. The only thing I can figure with Pantheon is it's probably maybe on the back of some records. I collect records, and maybe I've seen like Pantheon on the back or something because it sounds so familiar. I don't
Oh,
think.
Wayland did a
Oh,
lot of
Waylon did it.
recording.
Okay.
My dad wrote
Yeah.
a chorus for Jesse Coulter once. Yeah.
Really? Talk about
I
that.
don't know. It's I don't know. It goes, and I dwell in the house of the Lord forever. My dad wrote that, and it was in one of her
Really?
songs. Yeah, I don't know which one, but yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
Really? For Jesse Coulter?
Yeah, yeah. My dad's a composer and songwriter and
No,
stuff.
Shout out to
we
Ken LaFave.
Yeah.
well definitely. But yeah, Jesse would used to come in. I saw Jesse probably about 5 years ago. She was in town. I mean,
Wow.
she lives here.
Yeah, yeah.
But Chris Christopherson, I went to go say hi to him and go,
Wow.
So cool.
and Jessie was there, and she remembered me from Pantheon.
That's
That
great.
is so
Yeah,
cool.
she seems like a
Yeah,
sweet lady.
Yeah, Chris Christopherson was awesome.
Talk about the highwayman.
Yeah,
yeah,
seriously, is the correct is he still alive or did he
yeah.
pass
He is.
away?
He's in Hawaii.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's awesome. Yeah, what a talented guy. Did you ever
yeah.
get a chance to cross paths with Waylon?
No, I wish I would. I
Oh, me
wish I would
too.
have.
Big fan.
But
Closest
Merle,
we
I
came
mean,
was I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was to say Merle was, like part of our family. Merle
Oh, Merle
Haggard.
Haggard.
Yeah,
That's awesome. Wow.
Really? How
yeah.
how did you guys get connected to Merle?
I was out there visiting with Richard, of all things, and we were at a place called Sportsman's Lodge where we were staying.
Uh-huh.
And so we got up for breakfast, and I was having my oatmeal. And Merle's like, can I grab some of your sugar? I said, sure.
You're like, why
I
don't you write
knew.
a song about it, Merle?
Yeah. So, right. You pour some sugar on me or
Yeah, there
something.
you go. Wrong band, right?
Yeah, right. But I started talking with the guys and everything else and became friends and
That's amazing. Larry,
watched his son grow up.
you know what I think is amazing, Larry, is you're a magnet for interesting people.
Like the song, I am the magnet and you are
You are the
steel.
magnet. You're Magneto, is what you are.
Right, right.
Yeah. But I mean, that's just incredible. I mean, it's like we've been fortunate enough to cross paths with some very cool people, but it sounds like you're kind of, taking the first prize trophy on that one. It's
Yeah,
like
I appreciate it.
that's
I
pretty amazing.
appreciate that. It's just my life. I mean, when I was a little kid, I would grab the guitar and say, "Oh, I'm Johnny Cash." I just started way back then.
Right.
That's
I
the
just,
best.
there was something about it, something about the people.
Yeah.
My mom always liked the singer Donovan. I don't know if you've
Oh
ever
yeah,
heard of
Donovan, yeah.
him.
Atlantis, right?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Mellow Yellow, and
Yeah, he was
that
great.
was my mom's favorite singer. So we were in the Fifth Avenue shops, down in Scottsdale.
Yep.
There was a little place where people would perform. Donovan performed there. My mom wanted to go, so we went there, and we got to have an interview with Donovan afterwards.
Oh, cool.
So that was neat, and kept in touch. Got to keep in touch with Donovan. My mom wanted to always meet him. Donovan called our house and invited my mom up to see him.
That is so cool.
So that was the neatest thing I've ever seen.
That's awesome.
She sent flowers to him and put it on stage, and that's what did it.
Great.
That's amazing.
So, but yeah, there's been an interesting life.
It
It's
sounds
not
like it,
over.
with more to come. Yeah.
Right. It's not over.
Like I guess another question too. I know we're getting a little short on time here, but I want to ask this. Well, I have two more things that I want to ask. But the first
Sure.
one is, you worked on a lot of productions. You did the
Yes.
production life in different states, different movies, different TV shows, music, bands. You've worked on different things like that. For any time in between, what other kind of jobs did you do, and what other work did you do? Like, was it fully just production, all through that time, or did you have like a fallback job and things that you
Yeah, I
worked
did. I
on?
did have a
What did
fallback
you
job.
do?
Professional photographer.
Oh, that's badass.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very cool. Well, we'll call you
So,
for a photo shoot.
right.
Yeah, we
There you
need we
go.
do need an unfazed photo shoot. It's been a while.
Yeah. That's what I do. I've
Shoots
done,
off by the beach,
Yes.
running.
Yeah, just like in Top Gun, we'll do the volleyball scene.
yeah, there you go. But yeah,
Uh,
I've done a lot of professional photography. I used to do weddings.
that's
Did
awesome.
you did you enjoy it? Was it stuff that you liked shooting? Because we have a couple friends who are videographers, photographers professionally, and for one of them I know it's kind of soul sucking. They do a lot of like car commercials and stuff, and they like
Right. I've done that.
yeah.
Yeah.
I've done the car layouts, where you used to go over to way out in Mesa, whatever. They had the proving grounds.
Yeah.
So we used to do it out there. I did all that. But then I did weddings and I did DJ work
Oh, cool.
besides doing weddings.
That's imagine.
Right. Did
Larry Bartels.
we 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 had the CDs, we had the albums and
That's awesome.
cassette tapes and all that.
Did you ever do band photography?
Yes, I do for Benny and Noel, who are Merle Haggard's kids.
Oh,
That's
cool.
awesome.
So that's who I do the photo work for right now.
That's badass.
Yeah.
Okay, the
So
more you know. Yeah, I'd kind of figured, especially when you had said, Charlie Sheen was really, into the pictures that you took.
right.
The question I was thinking was like, oh, I wonder if he pursued that avenue of photography. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that picture, I mean, I never forget taking that, but he was standing right next to his motorcycle, right
Uh-huh.
with the director and the director of photography. And he had his glasses on, because of Beyond the Law, like he looked like
Yeah,
a real tough biker.
sure.
And he said, I've never seen a greater picture than that.
That's the best.
Right.
So that made me feel really good.
That's so cool, man. And then Larry, be yourself adventures. Talk a little bit about your channel and
Oh, that thing?
anything you want to
No.
expand on. Yeah, yeah.
Well, I thought a long time ago, I used to do a lot of fun videos, go with my friend, go different places, what have you.
Uh-huh.
And I kept seeing everybody doing YouTube.
Yeah,
I said, all right, I'll do it. And I met some YouTubers in California. They were doing the Disneyland thing or what have you.
yeah.
And I said, maybe I'll do it. And they said, you should, but I have to figure out and think of a name for my channel. They said, I don't know. Why don't you just be yourself? Think about it. I said, okay, be yourself. Okay, that'll work. So I started with that.
And which friend was that who recommended that?
They were called a part copying duel.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
So it's cool
So
knowing the origins.
yeah, so I got to meet them out there and they kind of gave me a little advice and this and that. And
That's
they
great.
said, if you've done acting and done all this other stuff, you shouldn't have any problems doing video.
That's amazing. Have you ever thought about starting up your own, like recurring
Haunting.
series of like stories and stuff?
I would like to do that. I just like to
Should.
find somebody else to do it with because I mean, I don't mind doing all the talking,
Yeah,
but it kind of gets boring after a while because you don't get
I
any
feel
answers
that.
from it
Need
yourself.
someone to bounce off of. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right, right. You just don't get any answers.
yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, keep it in mind, definitely.
Because
We're
I like,
We are
yeah, I
around.
mean, I like doing haunted things and
Oh, we could bring
as
you
do we.
we could bring you in on a paranormal investigation
I
too. That
would
might be
love to
kind of
do
cool.
that.
Because we
I
we got
really
a whole,
would.
the whole second channel, Unfazed Frights.
We've always meant to do, I think it's Vulture Cities, Vulture Mine or whatever.
We've
We've
never
never
done
done
that.
that.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
I know that place very well.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
You know the
Cool.
ghosts very well?
Yes. Good
All
friends with
right.
them.
They're quite
Good for,
approachable from what I hear.
yeah. Yeah. They're
One other question before we go too. I always like to ask guests, what was the first movie you remember seeing on the big screen, and what was the most recent movie you've seen in theaters?
Um, Probably the most when I was very, very little was Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Oh, great. Wow.
Yeah,
Masterpiece,
yeah,
masterpiece.
Starting the bar high.
Love the Gill Man.
yeah, yeah. I think it was in 3D.
Oof,
You know,
Whoa, that's
they're
cool.
that I
blue
wish they'd
and
bring that
red.
back.
Yeah, that was
That
fun.
do you remember which theater?
I don't. I don't. It was in California. I was
Okay,
little.
gotcha. It's tough when you're little to
Yeah,
pinpoint those things, but
yeah.
that's a solid starter, definitely. And what was the last movie you remember seeing most recently on the big screen?
The last one we saw was Bad Boys.
Oh yeah, I heard it was good. Was it?
It was great.
That's what I heard.
It
Yeah,
was great. I mean, the last one with Martin Lawrence and Will Smith.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was like a
Forgave
roller
Will for the
coaster.
slap. You forgave him
Yeah, yeah. Well,
reluctantly, right?
reluctantly. Yeah, I don't think it was cool to do that in
Yeah, it was
front
a
of
bad move.
everybody.
No, what do you think?
Yeah,
We were just talking about this earlier today, and it's been sort of a recurring discussion for us as someone who's worked a lot in film.
right,
We've kind of noticed a shift. I think it kind of, I say COVID is what kind of shifted things officially, but there's really not a lot of, I hate to use the word independent because it's not independent film even, but it's sort of
right,
independent thought in film that kind of went to the wayside after COVID. And
Yeah.
now
right,
we're noticing that everything that comes out is like attached to either a larger franchise
Mhm.
or it's a sequel or it's a prequel or it's going to be
right,
part of a larger thing. There's no like rarely is there just like, hey, here's a movie that we wanted to make.
Yeah.
There it is. It's like there's nothing that original anymore. There are
Mhm.
here and there, but what's dominating the cinemas now is just all this like big franchise.
Remake, sequel,
Yeah.
remake, sequel, prequel.
How do you
yeah,
feel about
like the Alien new one
Yep.
Yeah,
coming
yeah.
out and
Yeah,
all
it was
that.
First of
Beetlejuice.
all, would you agree? And second of all, what do you think about that?
Mhm.
I think it's too much.
Yeah.
I think there's just too much on the sequel stuff and then trying to bring things back and things, I mean, they're fine, but don't do it over and over and over and over.
Yeah, it gets beaten to death.
Yeah.
Well, like we were
Aliens 1, Aliens 2, Aliens
I
3,
was showing
Aliens.
Emmett, yeah, it's like, yeah, I saw that 2 days ago, the Alien one, and I know it's getting glowing reviews, and everyone's like, "Oh,
Yeah,
5 stars, it's great." I was very, underwhelmed. I was very underwhelmed. It was so
yeah,
formulaic, and the cast was, meh. But we were looking at some of the stuff that's coming out, and it's like, Beetlejuice,
yeah,
the sequel. You've
yeah.
got Transformers 900 coming out. You've got
Right. A new
Mufasa,
Halloween.
yeah, it's just like, Moana 2. It's like everything is just sequel, prequel. And I know we're not the first podcast to talk about this, but it's just so glaring where you're just like,
Yeah.
dude, what the fuck? Like I look at it and I look at like the stuff that you worked on, you know, 80s, 90s. I mean, it's like that was just like the pinnacle, I think, for
Right,
creativity. And it's like that's why I think I appreciated something so much like watching Near Dark recently and
right.
actually being able to come in looking at it with, fresh eyes, having never seen it before.
That's really
And I was
cool.
like, dude, when's the last time you saw a movie like Near Dark? Or
Yeah.
when's the last time you saw a movie like Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure? Or, anything like that where it's just like totally fun, totally creative, totally unique. And it's like
Yeah,
they don't take chances like that anymore. And I don't know what happened. It's like they're clearly making money off of these giant franchises, but maybe, make every third movie something new, something fresh,
right.
something with a new voice, but
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. What do you think about that?
Well, me also, love writing
Hmm.
and I love being a very creator and creativity.
Yeah.
You ever see that movie Crazy Heart?
Oh, I loved it. Yeah. I loved
Yeah, with
it.
Jeff Bridges,
Yeah, I
where
loved
he's
it.
like a country singer type thing.
Yeah,
I,
masterpiece.
I'm still trying to work on this. I've still got a little ways to write the script, but the movie's called The Poster,
Okay.
and it takes place in the early 1970s. It's an independent style. It's about a girl. I pitched this to Robert Redford, and he loved it.
Wow.
Sick.
Yeah,
Setting the bar high, my friend.
yeah. So, and I also Mark Johnson, who did Breaking Bad. I did have a meeting with him in California,
Damn.
That's
but that's a whole different.
that is amazing.
But the movie, The
Connected there.
Post. Thank you. The Poster is about a lady who works at some restaurant. She owns a ranch.
Uh-huh.
She's raising her own daughter, things like that. She's losing her job. She's about to ready to lose the ranch. So she's walking home and she sees this poster on the wall and it says, it's a rodeo. And it says like first prize, such and such money. So
Yeah.
she said, you know what? I'm going to enter the rodeo. And she's a lady. Back then in the early 1970s, you don't hear that.
Yeah.
No, it's very unique.
You hear about, here, I'll give you an idea. This was a mock up. I don't knock things over of a thing that we put
Oh, very
together.
nice.
Oh, cool.
Looks
Nice.
good,
Yeah,
yeah. Is that
the
like
poster.
Olivia? It looks like an Olivia Wilde type.
Yeah, Olivia Wilde, Jeff Bridges. It's a very independent style movie.
Who was the other guy based on? He kind of looked like a Billy Ray Cyrus.
That's Mr. Billy Ray Cyrus.
Oh, it is Billy Ray Cyrus. Okay.
Yeah. This was just a sample of people that, you could think about
Yeah.
being in the movie, but you got a hard-nosed uncle of hers that is the mayor of Cody,
Yeah.
in Wyoming. And she just wants her into the rodeo so she could save her ranch. Otherwise, her uncle's going to end up taking it
Yeah.
from her.
That
So
one
it's a,
that one seems very producible too.
yeah, but it takes place in the 1970s. But if you film it somewhere, let's say like in South Dakota, North Dakota, those areas, small
Yeah.
towns, you could
Yeah.
do it. You wouldn't
Oh,
need
for
that very
sure.
many,
For
that
sure.
not an old beat up truck and
Oh,
everything
very
else.
easily. Yeah. Yeah, you
Yeah.
have the right setting and the right, vehicles and stuff and the right, wardrobe. Absolutely. Yeah, not a reason why you couldn't do
That's
it.
cool, man. I have just a genuine question just for me. I read a lot, Ben writes a lot too.
Yeah.
I've never been at a point in my life more so than now where I have so many ideas and I'll try to sit down to write and I just can't. I mean, I guess it's writer's block, but I'll look at it and I'll just be like, I don't know. Like I have the grand scheme and I have like, so many ideas right now for different things, but when I sit down to do it for really the first time in my life, I just like nothing comes out.
Mhm.
Right. Right.
You ever been through that?
Yeah, I have. I have, but me, I write down the ideas really quickly.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, I have like
Yeah,
lots of notes in my phone and stuff like that, but
right.
yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know. It's tough.
that's just the way I am. I just really just put things down. It might be just one word,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but then it will reflect me back to what I was thinking of.
Redirect you and then you can start really writing.
Right.
Yeah.
We have another film that's hopefully still in production called One of Us.
Oh, very
And
exciting.
it's kind of a college horror type thing, a cult and things like
Nice.
that.
That's exciting.
Yeah, you want to
One
become
thing
one of us.
Love that.
one thing I've always kind of had trouble with, and we've only kind of scratched the surface on getting our stuff out there, is getting our scripts. We've written like 5 feature scripts together, feature-length scripts, but it's hard to get it in front of producers. That's like the
Yeah,
hardest thing, I think, is
yeah,
to like, and I think everyone has that issue, but at different levels. But
yeah.
there's a certain point where I think a lot of writers have something and they're ready to rock. And it's like, I don't know what to do with it. I don't know what to do with it. I don't know who to give it to. And we, at one point, we're talking to an independent producer. We also early on, like 10 some odd years ago, we went to California, went to a pitch fest where you pitch to a
Right.
bunch of different producers. Those suck, to be honest. If
Yeah.
you're lucky, you get one person who's actually
Get thrown
interested.
away.
And then, I have a friend who also works for a company that helps connect writers to different, studios and production companies. But what advice would you give to people, who are starting out as writers, or even people like us who have a little bit of experience but want more so to get our stuff, into the hands of producers who are legit? Like what's been your approach to like getting it from like, hey, I have a script, to like, here it's actually like being produced, or it's like, at least optioned.
Well, you got to learn first of all, how to pitch the script per
Yeah.
se. You got to have a good synopsis, you got to have a good treatment.
Hmm.
Sometimes it's always good to have a business plan
Yeah.
drawn up and have that. But sometimes you could just throw a quick little video together
Hmm.
and make like a little teaser trailer to
Hmm.
put with it so
Yeah.
people can actually see it and get an idea what instead of just being, paper black and white,
Yeah.
they can get a feel of what you're trying to put forward. It's kind of like when we had that meeting with Mark Johnson in California. I mean, he put like all the, drawings, the storyboards, put everything together so
Hmm.
they can get more of a better idea of what you're trying to come across.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's also, it's like who you know. It's
That's the best one.
always who you know.
Yeah. So it's
And
like
I've been
anytime
fortunate
you've gone to, sorry to cut you off there. Anytime when you go to pitch to someone, is it usually in your experience been through like a mutual contact where it's like, okay, my buddy knows this producer, we can arrange the meeting? Is that almost always how it goes?
pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, when we sat there and pitched to Mark Johnson, I mean, he had his pictures of Nardia and had all these Rain Man all on his walls.
Cool.
And we go in there, his big long table. He has his co-creator there, and Mark Johnson's the head of the table. And we're pitching that film. It was originally called Class of 2013 or whatever.
Yeah.
But then that passed 2013. Now it's called One of Us. But yeah, we got to sit and talk to him about it. He was really interested in it.
That's awesome.
So, but you got to really network yourself
Yeah.
in there. I mean, it's like you get to know this person that knows this person and so on and so on.
Yeah.
I think you really hit
So,
the nail on the head too with making visuals, because we've been
yeah.
talking about that for some of our stuff. Like
Oh, it's important.
that it's the best way to do it. If you're like, okay, cool, well, here's the idea. They're loosely interested in it, and you're like, well, here, check out this short that we did that is essentially a trailer for the movie, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
That's
It's
smart.
kind of like what I want to do for the poster.
That's cool.
You know,
Well,
I
let us
just,
know. We're available.
I think it'd be great.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, great minds think alike. That's the whole rule of thumb if you think about it.
I think it's a great idea too.
It's funny. I don't even consider it a regret now. I'm just kind of like it happened. But yeah, when we went to that pitch fest, I told you I had interest in that one script, and they gave me their the monitors, and they gave me their business card and everything. They wanted me to email the script and everything, and they really seemed to like it. And it was like a company I'd never heard of. It seemed like some, I didn't know who they were.
Paramount.
Yeah, Paramount.
Right.
And we were young when we did that.
Yeah.
I think I was not even.
Yeah.
I was like 19 or 20.
I think I was 20.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I got scared, not like because I was working potentially with the serious company, but I was afraid they'd like ruin it, and so I didn't
Right.
send it to them.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
I just never sent it.
Yeah.
They wanted it, which was cool, but yeah, I sat there and I was like, what if they screw it up?
Yeah.
And then I just didn't send it.
Yeah.
And for a while I was like, oh darn, but now I'm really just like, I don't know.
Well, you got to be really also careful because you got to, register with the WGA,
Yeah.
Yeah.
have the script registered, make sure because, somebody can say, oh, well, I don't really like it and stuff like that. It really sinks. But then you turn around and then all of a sudden
go
the
make
film
it.
is
Yeah.
being made,
Yeah.
And it
right?
seems like that happens so often. I'm sure
Yeah.
you've seen it a zillion times
Oh,
where
yeah.
there's two movies out at the same time and they're like carbon copies of each other, but just different
Correct.
casts. And like
Correct.
a little slight twist where it's a little bit different, where it's like, remember there was that time where it was like night and day with Tom Cruise and Cameron Diaz, and then like a month later it was that one with Ashton Kutcher and Katherine Heigl, like Killers or whatever.
Yeah,
It's like the
Killers,
same thing,
right.
like, oh,
It's-
he's a spy secretly,
Yeah.
It's just like, and that
It was
seems to
this-
happen. I'm sure there's other examples I'm forgetting, but it's like it happens a lot where you're
It
kind of like,
does.
"Dude, what's going on,
It does. I mean, I think it's been happening for just as long as I can remember.
Yeah.
Well, it's
When-
like a weird phenomenon. I mean, sometimes people are stealing stuff, and sometimes for some reason there's an idea in the air, like Darwin, the idea of evolution,
Darwin the
and then
monkey,
someone
wild
there was
numbers.
yeah, and then apparently there was another scientist in like Brazil or something that was coming up with the same theory at the exact same time.
Yeah.
They had no connection to each
Same
other.
wavelength.
Yeah, same wavelength.
Yeah.
I remember I
Wow.
wrote when I was like in 7th grade, I wrote this really crappy script about sounds stupid, but then like a year later it was a movie. It was like Archangel Michael comes down to Earth and he has like Uzis and stuff. And then like Legion came out.
Yeah.
Yeah, Legion.
And
I was going to say that sounds like Legion.
yeah, exactly. It was like obviously
Yeah.
they didn't steal it from me, but
Yeah.
for some reason that idea was just there in the atmosphere.
Yeah. No, I mean,
Yeah,
it happens
weird.
all the time.
Weird stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
I thought of a movie that would be a multi-billion-dollar movie
Okay.
that would be about King Tutankhamun,
That
the
would be
boy
sick.
king, called the Boy King.
That would be really cool.
Can you imagine something like
Starring
that?
Timothy Chalamet.
Right, right. But can you imagine a film like that being
That would be
made?
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never seen a real, I mean, aside from The Mummy, right? I've never
Right.
seen like a really epic, like ancient Egyptian film
Right.
about that era. I think they
Right.
tried to do like Gods and Pharaohs, right? Something like that. But like
Yeah.
something that actually takes place back in that time that's been done within the last 20 years.
They
I've
done
never
like
seen.
the Ten Commandments, with
Yeah.
Charlton Heston, but I'm talking a movie that would be so epic that everybody keeps talking about King Tutankhamun, the boy King, King
Yeah.
Tut,
That would
even
be
Steve
awesome.
Martin, King Tut,
King Tut
yeah,
buried in his jammies, right?
funky, funky
I
Tut,
had an idea for a movie that I thought would be kind of interesting. It would be this nerdy teenager who gets bit by a spider and it's
right?
radioactive.
Oh,
And he starts
wow.
climbing the walls and
Hmm.
we could call him like Man Spider, something like that. I don't know.
Yeah,
I had a
Scorpion
really
Man or no,
I,
or
I
just,
had a sophisticated idea, I think when I was in like sixth or seventh grade as well. I had an idea that King Arthur is on his quest for the Grail, and the church hires these pagan Norsemen to protect him to make
Mhm.
sure like the prophecy is fulfilled.
Yeah.
And so there's like it's kind of like is it real or is it not? And
That
they're
would be
like kind of in
amazing.
the shadows and they don't like each other and they butt heads, but they got to work together.
That actually
that's
could be really
wild.
cool.
Yeah, that's
That's
an
wild.
interesting one.
Yeah.
That's wild. Hmm.
I
You
think
can make it like a comedy too. Let's
Yeah, they
see.
absolutely. I think there's so many great ideas out there,
Yeah.
and they just, I don't know what it is with these studios, why they got so scared within the past few years. Because we were talking just recently, we said this on a few podcasts, where there was this golden era where we got really spoiled, like 2012, 2013, 2014, 2015,
Yeah.
where like there were some really cool original
and
movies
the 20
coming out.
teens were like great. Every
There
year
was
there
some,
was one thing
you
at
had
least that
something
was
like,
amazing.
Hell or High Water or Nightcrawler or
Right.
Arrival, some of those films
Yeah.
where you're just like,
Manchester
wow,
by the Sea came
Manchester
out,
by
and
the Sea,
yeah,
and
all those Taylor Sheridan movies, and
yeah,
Yeah.
Sicario,
yeah,
yeah, where they were so good, and now it's just like it's pathetic.
yeah.
Like it's like you get stuff that's just so uninspired.
I like watching Tulsa King.
Oh,
Have you
so
seen
good.
that?
I love it. I
Yeah.
love it. Yeah,
I,
the
I
new
mean,
season's coming out next month.
that's what I heard. September 15th.
Oh, so
You heard it
good.
here, guys. September 15th. But
September 15th. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the Unfazed Be Yourself Adventure Network.
right. But
Um, yeah.
yeah, I'm sorry for keeping you guys,
No, you're
but
fine,
this,
dude. You're good. Yeah, we were planning on doing an hour, but hour and a half is golden. Like, please don't apologize. Like, this has been
thank you.
awesome. Definitely want to collab on a video soon. And knowing that you're into the paranormal stuff, like I
Yeah.
said, I hope you're also subscribed to it. We have Unfazed Frights as well, which is
Yes, I am.
yeah,
Yes,
and
I am.
definitely trying to do more on there as well. But yeah, I will invite you to something very soon.
Okay.
Whether it's the Billy Clone video on Phased Review, or if you prefer something paranormal, you could do a paranormal one.
Either one.
If you
Either
want to do
one.
something more like creative, we've been itching to do more skits and just film stuff together
Yeah,
because we love it. Like whenever we're out filming something, even if it's just a silly little skit, I always feel like
yeah,
this is what I'm supposed to be doing,
yeah.
and I'm kind of like awake in a way that I'm not normally.
I feel alive. Yeah.
And
It's funny. I did a video down in Phoenix one time. Did you know there was a movie studio back in the day, back in Phoenix near
No,
Camelback?
no,
Yeah, Citadel Pictures.
I never heard of
where
that.
did all
And
this
they
stuff
did,
go, man?
it was a Western town and they did
Really?
movies. It was
Citadel.
called, I think, the Arizona Rangers. It
Huh.
was a TV series on regular TV.
Had no idea. What time frame would that have been?
I think it was probably the 40s, 30s and
Wow.
40s.
Damn.
Yeah, it
They screwed
was.
up. There was so much cool stuff that they just tore
I know
down.
there were a ton of old like cowboy shows they filmed out in Tucson. It was like all the
Yeah,
same town. Yeah, my
Yeah.
mom
old
watches a lot of this.
Tucson. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's where did you go down there for Bill and Ted when they did the old Western scenes? Were you there for
That
that?
was Carefree Studios.
Oh, that was Carefree. I thought that was
That's
Tucson.
no Carefree Studios. That
Wow. Were you
was
there for that part?
yes. That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
Wow. How was that? I freaking love that sequence. I
it
think
was cool.
Billy
I wish it
Billy the
was
Kid
still
is
there.
hilarious.
Oh, I can't think of his name right now, but yeah, I know who you're talking
Yeah,
about.
I can't think of him either, but that guy was great.
All these studios going like tanking is so depressing. We got to make our own
Dan
studios.
Shore or something like that. Dan Shore, I think
That
that's
might
his
be it.
name.
I'd have to
Yeah.
check.
But
But
it was great. It was a Western studio. They just totally got rid of it. Bill and Ted's also was filmed. The futuristic scene
yeah,
where they had Clarence Clemens, the guy from
yeah, Springsteen.
yeah, Bruce Springsteen, the
Yeah, yeah,
saxophone player.
yeah.
That was filmed and then Fee Weeble was there too
Oh, badass. I
for
didn't
the
know that.
tubes. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, he was sitting on the chair next to,
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that was him.
I don't know why I keep doing this, but yeah, but that's where
That's
it was filmed.
crazy. That's crazy. I just always assumed that was some random soundstage like in California or something.
No, it was filmed here.
Did you get to walk in there at all when they were doing the future scenes?
No, I didn't get to. And I think one of the scenes that they did, the futuristic scene, something to do with the film screwed up the prom scene.
Oh,
So
interesting.
yeah, it totally wiped up the whole film because you're
Uh,
still working with 35 millimeter.
yeah,
So it kind of did something, the reflection or something screwed up the film.
dang.
So
Scary
I
stuff.
wonder if any of that prom scene survived because I had like
I
the weird
don't,
Mandela effect thing of thinking that I saw it, but I guess I didn't.
yeah, I don't think, I mean, I have, hold on, let me show you something here real quick.
The only thing I can figure, I think that I'm confusing it with, is at the end when Rufus brings the princesses back. Oh, you got a picture of it.
Yeah,
Sick. That's really cool.
yeah.
That's really
So
cool. Where did they shoot the prom scene at?
that was down Phoenix.
That was down in Phoenix. It
Yeah.
was it wasn't at Coronado.
I don't remember. I know it was somewhere around there.
Okay.
All I can remember is I think it was in Scottsdale, if I remember
Okay.
right.
You know what I think I'm confusing it with, like why I think I saw the prom scene, even though it
Yeah.
doesn't exist, is at the end when Rufus brings the princesses to the garage to like
Yeah.
bring him
Yeah.
to Bill and
Yeah.
Ted. They have like
Yeah.
those nice dresses on.
Yeah.
It's
But
like but they have kind of like puffy shoulders. It almost looks like a prom dress. I
yeah.
think that's what I'm thinking of that has me thinking I saw the scene, but I didn't. It was just the
Yeah.
wardrobe that they were wearing.
I'm still in touch with those two the princesses
Really?
with Kimberly and Diane. Yeah.
That's
Wow.
awesome.
Send them give my love to the princesses.
I will. Yes,
Please.
way, dude.
Ben S. Esquire and Emmett Theodore Logan. That's
Wow.
awesome.
That was good.
That is
That
cool.
was
Well,
really
Larry,
good.
I think this is a good closing point, but thank
Yeah.
you so much for doing this and thank you for the awesome stories and yeah, this is just a jumping off point, man. I look forward to collaborating with you on other stuff and I hope you'll be interested in doing some stuff with us in the future.
I would definitely will. Thank you both. I really appreciate this. This
Of
was
Thank
an
you.
Yeah.
honor. It was an
I
honor.
feel like we barely scratched the surface too. Like you're welcome back anytime if you want to do a part two and we can go a little deeper into some of the fun stories.
And we could do like other movies. Okay, we got part three, part four. Oh
We
boy,
could
here
just
comes
keep it going.
part.
It'll just be the recurring be yourself unfazed
Right.
session,
Hey, let's go film something, man, a vlog or whatever. I mean, this.
Yeah, yeah,
I think
definitely.
it'd be fun because look at the things with two heads
Oh yeah.
what Sean does.
So good, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it's great. I mean he just sits there and guys talk.
Yeah, I mean we're open to it. It's like we're local, so it's like, we're pretty close by and it's like we just like shooting the shit and making videos. So
Yeah.
I think it would be a good combo.
I think it'd be fun.
Awesome.
Let's
Well,
make history, as they say in
let's
Bill
do
and
it.
Ted's.
Awesome, man. Well, thank you so much to the audience. Make sure you like and subscribe. Go subscribe to Be Yourself Adventures. I'll have his link down below. And also, yeah, check him out on Instagram. Follow us on Instagram and remain unfazed, guys. Thanks for watching.
Be most excellent.
Most excellent and party on, dude.
Peace. Party on, dude.